Good afternoon, I'm Sean Yao, and this is One News Now. The Department of Trade and Industry inspected several malls in Quezon City to see whether or not they are ready to reopen once Metro Manila shifts to a general community quarantine. Dale De Vera has the report.
Sean, less than a week before the transition to extend to general community quarantine, the Department of Trade and Industry inspected several establishments in Quezon City. While some are ready to reopen, others seem to be lacking some requirements. In Robinson's Magnolia and Landmark, for example, they have yet to install floor markings to direct people to follow social distancing. Landmark is also not allowing customers to fit shirts, pants, and even shoes for sanitation purposes. But in SM Department Store, customers are allowed to fit shoes and will have it sanitized if the products will not be bought. Several establishments have meanwhile readied alcohols and equipment for temperature checks. Some stores say they had to also trim their workforce as less people are expected to come to malls amid the pandemic. Sean, for now, existing policies at malls remain in place. Children and high-risk individuals are still advised not to go to crowded places like the malls. Sean?
All right, Dale, so will compliance and non-compliance be the sole basis of the DTI in determining which malls or establishments are indeed ready to open come June 1?
Sean, with regard to that, DTI Undersecretary Ruth Castello have given these malls at least until the weekend to comply with all this. So to prepare them for the possible influx of customers when the modified enhanced community quarantine is lifted in Metro Manila. Sean?
All right, having said that, Dale, I guess inspections will be going on. It is Wednesday today, all the way until the weekend, which is May 31, Sunday, yeah?
Yes, that's what we're expecting, and we are also expecting at least Secretary Ramon Lopez to be going around over the weekend just before the possible lifting of the MECQ. Sean?
Yes, I read the guidelines earlier coming out of the DTI. So apart from malls, even specific establishments like dining establishments, cafes, restaurants have been given separate guidelines. And it roughly sums up to, in very simple terms, half capacity. Is this correct? And what other guidelines are there for, especially for food establishments where, other people will be handling food? Are there any new guidelines that came out of the DTI?
Yes, Sean, that's right. With regard to food establishments, they will be expected to only have at least half of their maximum capacity. But Undersecretary Castello explained earlier that these guidelines are yet to be approved by the Interagency Task Force. But yes, for now, dine-in customers will not yet be allowed until after the IATF approves the guidelines.
All right, so clearly these guidelines are just a suggestion or recommendation to the IATF, and the IATF will again have final say. Thank you very much for that update. Dale De Vera of News 5 reporting to us live from Quezon City. Here are other stories we're keeping our eyes on. The NTC, or National Telecommunications Commission, backs a proposed measure over at the Senate, seeking the non-expiration of franchises with pending renewals in Congress. Senate Minority Leader Frank Drilon has filed a Senate bill which provides for the non-expiration of a license where the company has already filed a timely application for renewal until Congress decides on the matter. The NTC says this bill will bridge the gaps in the existing law. And only about 1% of the financial aid given to LGUs for COVID-19 response has been liquidated as of May 21. In President Duterte's 9th weekly report to Congress, he says the amount of Bayanihan grant liquidated during the period totaled 397 million pesos. And Meralco clarifies a spike in electricity rates amid the lockdown. In a letter addressed to House Energy Committee Chairman and Marinduque Representative Lord Alan Velasco, the power distributor said electricity bills issued for May 2020 reflects actual readings for the last 3 months. For more updates, follow News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. I'm Sean Yao, and we are One News.